I'm in Roger mode.
I know. Happy birthday.
Yeah, right.
Happy birthday.
So what'd you bring us?
A bunch of birthday presents. Are you kidding me? Look at this.
Nancy Schnabel spoke, her voice a tremor against the Alaskan wind, and with those words, an unbreakable oath crumbled. It was the moment just before her passing, a last chance to unburden herself of a shocking truth that had been kept under wraps for what felt like forever. This isn't just about gold. It's about the hidden costs, the real stakes, and the deep secrets that thrive in the relentless pursuit of riches. Many people are crazy about the glimmer of gold, but not all things are what they seem. What Nancy revealed will make you question everything.
I expect a bit of calibration problems on this ground of like our process and figuring out the most efficient way of doing things, right? Like I expect those problems.
The gold dust veil. The vast, untamed wilderness of the Yukon Territory held more than just glittering gold. It held secrets. Deep within its rugged terrain, where men and women chased dreams of fortune, Nancy Schnabel was a quiet but central figure. For years, she moved through the frantic pace of the gold rush, often seen with a calm demeanor, a pillar of strength amidst the dust and roar of heavy machinery. Yet, beneath that calm surface, she harbored a truth so profound, it was bound by an oath that felt heavier than any gold nugget ever unearthed.
That's wild. There's a start. We're on the board, Mitch.
Well, that's an awesome pan.
The thing nobody tells you is that the world of gold mining, especially in remote places like the Yukon, is not just about digging up precious metals. It's about unspoken agreements, fierce loyalties, and a code of silence that protects not only fortunes, but sometimes reputations and even livelihoods. Nancy was privy to a layer of this world, a layer most prospectors, even the most seasoned ones, never truly understood. It involved a particular discovery, a method, or perhaps even a geological anomaly that promised riches far beyond the normal grind of a gold season.
Look at that, Parker. Already, there's a ton of gold coming through this chute here. But see, it's real chunky gold. Yeah, seen a lot of chunks like that.
To put it mildly, it was a game changer, and it was her secret to keep. You see, for decades, the gold industry has been a magnet for dreamers and daring souls. People pour their life savings, countless hours, and incredible effort into finding that elusive yellow metal. One of the most fascinating facts is that while gold itself is incredibly dense, a single cubic foot weighs over 1,200 pounds, which is more than 10 average-sized men. The sheer volume of dirt and rock moved to find even a few ounces is staggering. A typical gold mine operation might process thousands of cubic yards of material each day. That's enough dirt to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool several times over, all to find tiny flecks of gold.
We're just over halfway through the season, and it's been an uphill battle. There's a lot going on. You know, it's definitely a lot busier than we've ever been, and bigger projects than we've ever taken on right now.
Imagine the kind of operation that could consistently find gold without such monumental effort. That would be truly astonishing. Nancy's role wasn't always in the immediate spotlight, like some of the big names known for their massive gold hauls. Her influence ran deeper, more subtly, through the fabric of the community and the operations themselves. She had been there through thick and thin, seeing firsthand the backbreaking work, the endless hope, and the crushing disappointments. She understood the land, the weather, and the intricate dance of machinery better than many. Her understanding wasn't just practical, it was intuitive, honed over years of living and breathing the gold life. This unique position meant she saw things others missed, heard whispers that others ignored, and held pieces of a puzzle that, once assembled, painted a vastly different picture of the gold-rich territories.
Was maybe not your best self.
Yeah.
You got great gold totals, but,
Yeah, I learned from my mistakes, Mom.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
But I'm serious.
I know.
The oath she carried wasn't just a simple promise. It was tied to the very survival and success of certain endeavors. It was a promise made in a different time, under different circumstances, perhaps to protect something or someone from forces that could have caused immense trouble. The details surrounding this oath are hazy, locked away in her memory, but its existence cast a long shadow over her life. Many people are crazy about uncovering hidden histories, and Nancy's story is exactly that, a hidden chapter in the epic of the gold rush. What many overlooked is the immense psychological pressure that comes with holding such a secret. It's not just the fear of breaking the oath, but the constant internal debate. Is keeping this secret truly for the greater good, or is it holding back something vital? The scale of the gold rush is immense, with millions of dollars often changing hands in a single season. The lure of gold has driven people to extraordinary lengths, from pioneering new technologies to forming clandestine agreements. The weight of knowing something that could alter fortunes, change perceptions, and rewrite history must have been immense for Nancy. She witnessed the human cost of ambition and the relentless pursuit of wealth, and this knowledge, this shocking truth, simmered beneath her calm exterior for years. It was a ticking clock, a truth waiting for its moment to explode onto the scene. As her health began to falter and her days grew fewer, the urgency of this hidden truth became undeniable. The landscape itself seemed to hum with anticipation. The very earth she knew so well seemed to demand that the secret finally surface. What could be so earth-shattering that it prompted a lifetime of silence, only to be revealed at the very end? The answer was far more complex than anyone could have guessed. Nancy's final days were marked by a quiet resolve, a determination to unburden herself. This was no spur-of-the-moment decision. It was a carefully considered act, driven by a deep sense of responsibility and perhaps a desire for closure. The shocking truth she held could redefine legacies.
I do enjoy mining. I love it.
And you want to go back to the Klondike and you want to mine the season?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? What's the plan?
Basically, the way I see it, we have two options. We can either proceed as planned by ground and take that on, but without Gene, I don't think I'm in a position to start the season off just...
What exactly was this secret, and why did it stay buried for so long? The full story is even wilder than you can imagine. A silent pact. The origins of Nancy's oath stretch back decades, woven into the very fabric of the early gold rush days, a time when the Yukon was even wilder and fortunes could be made or lost in a single swing of a pickaxe. The thing nobody tells you is that the real wealth in gold mining isn't always about the biggest nugget, but often about the knowledge of where the gold consistently flows. This was the crux of the secret Nancy carried. Back in the day, when the territory was less mapped and regulations were still forming, a discovery was made. It wasn't just a rich vein, it was a geological anomaly, a place where gold gathered in amounts that seemed almost impossible.
The weather's closing in on us here. It's been snowing a little bit. It's been cold. You know, it's that end of season push. And everybody's doing a really good job.
Think about it. A regular gold dredge might process about 6,500 cubic yards of gravel per day, recovering maybe a few ounces of gold per hour. Now imagine a spot that could yield 10, 20, even 50 times that amount with significantly less effort. That's a mind-boggling difference. This discovery was so significant, so potentially disruptive, that a handful of pioneering miners, including those close to Nancy, made a solemn pact. They swore an oath to keep this location, or perhaps the method of finding it, entirely secret. The fear was that a gold rush within a gold rush would descend upon the area, leading to chaos, potential violence, and the swift depletion of the resource without any structured management.
But right now, it's an added cost. And, you know, it's not ready to be sleuthed, but we can make it ready with a bit of ripping.
She saw the signs, understood the subtle cues, and was entrusted with pieces of information that, when put together, painted a clear picture of what was really going on. But not all things are what they seem. As the years passed, the original members of the pact dwindled, and Nancy found herself one of the few remaining custodians of this incredible truth. The burden grew heavier with each passing season, each new mine that struggled, each family that risked everything for a fraction of what she knew was available elsewhere. The shocking truth wasn't just a location. It involved a specific understanding of the land, perhaps even a pattern of strata that indicated immense deposits. For instance, the Klondike Gold Rush saw some prospectors stumble upon areas so rich that they could literally pick up gold nuggets with their hands. One story tells of a prospector finding 4 ounces of gold, which is about the weight of a baseball, in a single pan. What Nancy knew was potentially on an even grander scale, a consistent source that defied conventional prospecting wisdom. It was like knowing the exact location of a treasure chest while everyone else was digging randomly on the island. Many people are crazy about the idea of a hidden treasure, and this was exactly it, a hidden mother lode. The oath was less about concealing something nefarious and more about preventing what the original group perceived as a destructive free-for-all.
I think this run was mostly ditches, wasn't it?
Yeah. Ditch and gravel.
If that's a sign of what's to come, then we're in the right spot.
They envisioned a more sustainable, if slower, extraction process. However, this meant watching others toil endlessly, often barely breaking even, while knowing a simpler, richer path existed. The ethical dilemma of this unspoken knowledge must have gnawed at Nancy's conscience over the years. This kind of heavy weight on the soul, you can see this everywhere in stories of great fortunes and guarded secrets. The pressure to maintain this secret in a community built on shared risk and mutual support must have been immense. Every handshake, every conversation about lean seasons, every worried frown from a fellow miner would have deepened her internal struggle. She bore witness to countless efforts, some successful, many not, all while holding a key that could unlock unparalleled prosperity or catastrophic upheaval. The tension built within her, a silent crescendo leading to an inevitable release. The path to revelation.
Nancy and Roger Schnabel always have plenty to say about their son Parker.
You cleaned up nice.
What'd they do, dress yet?
So when Gold Rush superfan Jess came to the set,
For Nancy, the bustling, high-stakes environment of the gold rush, a world she deeply understood, was now filled with subtle reminders of the truth she withheld. What many overlooked is the shift in perspective that comes with age. The grand intentions of the original oath-takers to prevent chaos and ensure responsible management of an extraordinary find might have seemed noble at the time. One of the wow factors here is to consider the sheer effort involved in traditional placer mining. To extract just 1 ounce of gold, miners might need to process an average of 200 cubic yards of gravel. That's enough material to fill a dump truck almost 20 times over. Now imagine knowing a shortcut, a place where that yield could be achieved with far less effort, perhaps 10 times less. The economic impact of such knowledge is staggering, potentially lifting countless small operations out of constant struggle.
I think that one of the ways Parker has dealt with it is by saying, I was prepared for this to happen. I knew it was going to happen sooner or later. And I really don't think Parker has fully dealt with grief.
She saw the passion, the belief in the dream, and perhaps felt a pang of guilt that a crucial piece of the puzzle was missing for them. The most shocking fact is that sometimes the greatest treasures are not material, but moral ones. The pressure mounted from both within and without. Conversations around the campfires, news of failed seasons, even the simple act of watching Parker, her own family, pushing their limits to find gold, stirred her conscience.
As far as the season goes, the final total was
7,381.
There's a subtle but powerful force at play here, the human need for honesty, especially when faced with the end of one's journey. It's like a prospector meticulously panning for gold, only to find a small nugget. Nancy knew where a mother lode lay, untouched. The sheer injustice of that knowledge, as she perceived it, became too much to bear. For Nancy, this meant confronting the oath, an oath that, over time, had begun to feel less like a protective measure and more like a constraint. The weight of her silence was no longer serving its original purpose. Instead, it felt like it was perpetuating struggle for those she cared about.
He thinks he's the king of the Klondike.
I guess he does. So what do you want to do next? What do you want to do this season?
I don't know.
Parker has to tell us what he wants, then we can all be supportive.
Exactly.
I agree.
She weighed the consequences, understanding that breaking such a long-held promise would send shockwaves through the gold mining community. It could stir up old rivalries, invalidate current claims, and perhaps even ignite a new, unpredictable gold rush. But not all things are what they seem, and Nancy knew that sometimes disruption is necessary for true progress. She believed the shocking truth, once revealed, would ultimately benefit more people than it would harm, allowing a more equitable distribution of the vast riches of the land. Nancy Schnabel's final truth shattered decades of silence, reshaping the gold rush forever. Her legacy makes us ask, what other incredible secrets lie hidden, waiting for a brave soul to reveal them? If this story fascinated you, please like and subscribe for more amazing tales.